Right now, it feels like no matter what I do, there is never enough hours in the day. The second I wake up to the second I go to bed, I am working or doing some sort of physical activity to refresh my brain so then I can work longer. And no matter what I do, it always feels like the day goes by too fast and I almost never get enough done. And it's a really unique feeling that I'm starting to try and go to bed a little bit later and wake up a little bit earlier just so I have more hours in the day because it is so incredible living right now. When you are living through the good times, I think you have to be aware of it. And right now my business is expanding. The amount of fun I'm having when working is expanding. Today I had more fun working than I did all weekend partying with my buddies. I know a lot of large business owners. One, the guy whose logo I have tattooed on my leg, who had a ton of businesses, left a bunch, sold a bunch. He's a complete entrepreneur. His name is George Gammon. He was exceptionally good at starting businesses and growing them to a few $100,000 per month. And this was 20, 30 years ago when he was doing this. Maybe not 30 years ago, but at least 20 years ago. He was exceptionally good at it. But what he didn't like is when he started to grow a large business, then you need to bring management and you had to bring a CFO and all these O's into the corporations, these COs into the organization, which added to the funness going down. The best part about having a small business is you're like a little speedboat where you can pivot at any moment and you can go exceptionally fast and you can stop and you can do all these cool things. And you are a small boat and you could be in a large pond, but you are very agile. And that can lead to a lot of asymmetry in your decision making, which have very outsized returns. When you have a large business, it's much harder to make those types of turns because you're in a bigger vessel. And when you're driving, there's other layers of security that these decisions have to go by. It's not just you and a few other people. So he made the decision that he never wanted that really large business. I have not grown a large business, but one of the other people that I work with, his name's Ken McElroy. He is a multi-billion-dollar company, and he's taken the opposite approach. He's just stuck with one business his entire career, and he's grown that to where it's making, more money than I think people would even fathom. So that is the type of company that I want to build, because over to a certain amount of time, if you hire the right people and you structure things to where you have the best people on board, and I mean the best, I would rather pay 2 times as much for an A plus talent person than hire a B player. And I'm okay if I have to spend $20,000 a month on the right person, because I know if you have the absolute best person in place, it's not going to provide 1 to 2 times the results. It is literally going to grow your business by 5 to 10 times, or at least that position, that sector. And I'll use myself as an example. For Ken, I have been an A plus player, and that is not a ego thing. It's just a fact. They were doing for their YouTube channel 100,000 views per month on long form in January. Within a month of me taking over, they were doing a 2.5 million. The amount of accredited investors we got 10x per week. And Ken's workload went from doing this for 5 hours per week. He was doing like 5 to 8 hours per week, depending on the workload, to spending under 2 hours per week on this. So his work went down by a significant degree, and the results almost 20x'd across everything. And there's a bunch of other metrics that we look for. And so when you hire someone like that, where my entire goal for Ken is to make him as much money as humanly possible. I joke around with my buddies that I want to make him so much money that he needs to buy a bigger plane. He already has his own jet. I think that I can make him so much money that he needs to buy a bigger jet. When you find those types of people, where my only goal with Ken is to make him a fuck ton of money. When you find those kinds of people, it is very, very easy because I manage Ken's time. I tell him exactly what he needs to do and to spend the least amount of time possible. I tell him the other people that we need to hire that I'm going to manage, that they're going to report directly to me, because it's going to improve the results even further. And because he can trust what I'm saying, because the results have shown, he just says, okay, Josh, we've increased the revenue by so much. Use that pot to expand the team so we can have better results in the future. And I want to do that because my goal is to get better at this. So when you find those types of people, you keep them on board, and then you will pay them whenever you want in the future. I mean, that is what it's like, as well as understanding the goals and objectives that they have. So when you surround yourself with those types of people, It is hard not to grow a business because one person is not, you can't be that smart by yourself. There's no way you're going to make over a few $1 million a year by yourself unless you code some sort of technology company or something. But even that, I don't have that skill set. It is most likely to grow a business, you are going to need people. And the people who run the best businesses have the absolute top quality people. And usually you have to pay a lot more for those high quality people. So, what do you have to do to get them? You, one, have to be a great leader. I mean, for the past like month, almost every single video I'm talking about how my main objective is to find the best people and bring them on board. And I'm only saying that because every business that I see that is run the best has the highest caliber of people. And you know this right away. When if I could bring every single one of you into Ken's company, you would realize instantly that every person in his company is an absolute killer. They are fucking incredible. They are, and every single person on his team pretty much is paid significantly above the market average. So think about that. You think, oh, all these entrepreneurs are super greedy or whatever. Most of these people get pieces of the pie for the percentages that they increase. And so what happens? Ken goes on vacation for 2 months and the company is still increasing significantly during that period of time because everyone is aligned to want to grow the company, which is the opposite of what most people do. They try and pay their employees as little as possible. They see them as more of a nuisance. Those people never grow large businesses, I don't think. So that's all I'm focusing on. Find the best humanly possible people and figure out a way to pay them as humanly much as possible to where they want to work with you. And right now I don't have that kind of budget. So I have an A+ player who I'm just training. And so there's a few different ways you can go about this. You can train the A+ player, and PJ, I tell him I will literally pay him every single dollar I possibly can for anything any money that he makes me. I'll pay him as much as humanly possible. All he has to do is make me money. Therefore, we are just working on this every single day. So I'm training him so he has my skill set so we can do more in the future. And that you really have a few approaches. You either have the budget already to hire the A-class players, or you have to train them. Ideally, I don't want to have to train them, but I don't have the budget to spend $200,000 a year on somebody right now. Going back to how this relates to not having enough hours in the day and the speedboat analogy, right now, running a business is so fun. It is so fun. You're getting off the ground. You've already made it past your first few years. We were making a decent amount of money, more money than I really thought that I could dream of. But this is when you want to take it to the next level, and scaling it and getting all this lead flow and everything happening is so much fun. It is so ridiculously fun every single day, just using your brain to its limits and working with your best buddies every single day. I think in 5 years from now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I'm going to have a fairly large business. At that point, maybe not 5 years, but definitely 10 years from now, every single business just looks the same. All businesses are really just, you have all your C kind of O positions, and it's just a slow moving machine. And there's still a lot of things that go on, but there's a natural transition zone that you eventually have to make. I don't think that's going to be as much fun for me, but for the impact that I at least am attempting to make, I'm willing to make those types of sacrifices to grow a large business. I also think there'll be different fun parts of that, especially seeing how Ken has it. Ken is almost in the game of just finding the best people in the entire world to work with him. And so this is another one of the reasons why having a channel is so great. So Ken, he gets so much lead flow and so many people wanting to work for him because of who he is, and he has a large channel. Every person's in that position. Think about it. Me, I got someone's logo tattooed on my leg and put my first time ever on a plane to go meet someone just to ask them for a job. Then I worked for free to make someone a few $100,000 and never even accepted payment from them for some other person just because I wanted to get better at what I was doing. This is when my only goal is trying to improve my skill set. That is only because they have online presences and they were people that I looked up to and wanted to work with. That is real value. So you think about this. Ken is a billionaire and he spends a few hours per week on content. Why, if all these people are spending this much time, it means they're doing it because it has a higher ROI on their time. There's no other reason why they would do it. And there's such an egregious amount of ROI on their time that they want to continue to do it. So it is an absolute no-brainer to make videos, even if I'm really not trying to grow with my channel. But I'm sure there's going to be some people that I meet here that I will potentially want to bring on board for the mission. Which, and there's only benefits. For me, sacrificing 15 minutes a day to basically keep myself accountable and go over my day and improve my kind of communication ability and being able to send this to friends or family if they're asking me what I'm up to. It is an absolute no-brainer because I don't edit these. I don't do anything with them. I just post this stupid video. It's exceptionally easy. I've committed to doing a video every day for 1,000 days just to see what happens and have a good time along the way. A lot of the richest people in the world right now are allocating their time online. I think that is really all you need to see to say, this is probably something that I should learn. And I can tell you, they are willing to spend an egregious amount of money for people who know how to grow their stuff for them. An egregious amount. I'm telling you that firsthand. If you can solve a person who is making $100 million a year in their business and they're trying to start an online presence, if you can fix the problem of them not getting any more views and can 100x it, I promise you they will pay you anything to continue to do that because they make so much money on the back end. So it's a very, very valuable skill that is awesome as well. I think it's so much fun. I mean, I literally live, eat, and breathe this every second of every single day. So just going to keep on doing what I'm doing and kicking butt. I'm upset to be leaving Colombia in a month because I just have everything so dialed in right now. I do know that I'm going to potentially be the busiest human on the planet over the next few weeks because if you watched yesterday's video, yesterday was Monday, tomorrow is Wednesday, where I have 2 meetings with 2 new potential clients where both of them would be paying a few $100,000 per year. That would give me the budget to hire the A-class talent. So I've been preparing for those like a motherfucker, and I'm damn ready. I'm going to try and record both meetings, and then I'll ask them afterwards if I'm able to record them because I think that would actually be the only valuable video I'd really ever make, showing you how I go about talking to these potential clients, especially people who make hundreds of millions of dollars, and how I approach these sorts of meetings and how I try and close those sorts of deals. So if I can, hopefully that's the video you're watching tomorrow. If not, it's probably going to be me crying saying I fucked up. Either way, I'm really not too concerned because, again, my goal right now is not more income. It's just getting better at what I'm doing. Then everything else comes along.